Hello and thank you for joining. My name is Misty Corns. This recording will walk you through how to add the new Family First Coronavirus Response Act earnings and hours to an employee in a payroll batch during your payroll process. This recording will be most beneficial to company administrators and payroll processors. For this presentation, I will be using the new user interface. Once logged into Workforce Ready, in the top left-hand corner, there's a hamburger menu. Clicking on the hamburger menu opens some options. The double person icon is where I want to be initially. And then within the double person icon, there's a payroll option. Clicking on the payroll option, payroll process can be found. I'm going to go into my payroll process to see my pay periods. For today's recording, I will be using the pay date 4/17. I do want to point out, as you're keying in hours for your employees, it is very important to not add any hours for an employee for days prior to April 1st. So this law is only in effect starting April 1st moving forward through December 31st. So I'm going to click on the $sign. I've already initiated my payroll, so the next option I have in this demo company is add edit batches. This is where we're going to spend most of the time. So clicking on add edit batches, you can tell my status is open. If your status is closed, all you have to do is click on the icon that looks similar to this one. Now, my icon says continue batch edit. Yours would say open batch for edit. So clicking on that icon brings me into the batch that I've already started. Okay, you can see that I have some columns across the top that are associated with the earning codes that we're talking about today. So to get these columns into your batch report, if they're not showing already, you'll go to select columns. You'll want to do a search, or you could scroll. In this case, I'm going to do a search for FFCRA. Okay, I've only got 3 options here, but if you've not added these columns to your report already, you'll have more. All I have to do to add these columns to my report is click the right-facing arrow. Once I've done that, the columns will appear on the right-hand side of my report, or of my select columns option. Now I can move these columns up and down wherever I see fit, and then I would need to select columns once ready. Okay, so the first column that we see here is the total. This is an important column, at least initially, because this will give you an idea if the employee is being paid. And in some company configurations, your salaried employees may be already receiving pay without editing or entering anything in the payroll process. It's going to be very important if you key in hours for these types of employees, will be important that you actually remove any auto pay earnings for the employee based on what you're paying the employee for the Family First codes. So if you have questions on how much you should be reducing the salary or what the process is for that, contact your CSR and they can help you with that. Okay, so let's start with keying in some hours. So we'll start with Ashley, and Ashley has been sick. She has been out and quarantined for having the coronavirus. So Ashley is an 8-hour a week, or excuse me, an 8-hour a day, Monday through Friday employee. Okay, this is a bi-weekly pay period, so I'm going to key in 80 hours for Ashley. Okay, and the next thing is the next employee I want to work with here is Ken. So Ken is going to take some leave time for care of a child due to the school closures. So in this case, Ken is also an 8-hour-a-day employee, 5 days a week, but I'm going to actually only key in 40 hours for Ken. Okay, and now for Larry. Larry is again, an 8-hour-a-day employee, and he's already maybe taken the full family leave for caring for a child. Now he's needing to take some additional time for the family leave. And so what we're going to do for him is we're going to go ahead and key in an additional 80 hours. Okay. Now what I want to just mention very quickly is it's very important for you as company administrators or payroll processors to only pay the employee what their standard workday is for their regular daily hours. Okay, so if Ashley had been a 7.5-hour employee, Ashley is only eligible for 7.5 hours times the 10 days. Okay, so you'd want to key that in, even though 10 days equals 80 hours for full-time employees generally, Ashley's standard hours may only be 7.5. It's very important that you actually know what those hours are and you're keying in those daily hours correctly. When I go ahead and hit save, you will notice that the system does a calculation here for you. We're actually maintaining the maximums for you on an annual basis. Okay, so as an employee were to use this time, the system is going to keep track of if the employee has approached and exceeded the maximum annual amount. Once they do exceed that annual amount, the system will reduce the pay. So let's look at an example like that. So we're going to use Kathy. Okay, so I did a search for Kathy, and we're just going to kind of play for a second with Kathy. So here's Kathy's sick leave, and Kathy is actually a pretty high paid employee. So her hourly rate's pretty high. So we're going to just key in 80 hours for Kathy, and I'm going to hit save. All right, so that's okay, you know, for Kathy, but maybe she also needs to take, and again, we're playing with these hours. I want to show you how the actual maximums work kind of behind the scenes. So in this case, we'll pretend that, and actually let's take out these 80 hours to avoid confusion. So I'll key in the 80 hours here. So I'm going to save this. Okay, it's calculating. And then if I come over here to the FMLA 10 weeks, if I were to key in, let's say 400 hours here, notice it's giving me more than the legal 10,000 annual amount. Okay, obviously Kathy should not be paid 400 hours on this one pay period. Okay, but watch what happens when I save and update. Notice the system reduced the amount. Now, again, I just want to reiterate, you would not want to key in 400 hours, even if you know that the employee is going to take the full amount. Again, you're going to need to put in the hours based on the employee's daily standard hours. Okay, but this 10,000 is just an example to show you that the system's going to cap the employee at 10,000, even if it crosses over pay periods. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take this out because that is actually a major issue, and we'll save that. And we'll just take Kathy out of this equation completely, and let's take a look at an employee. So here is Ashley, and you can see that we've got her paid 80 hours for sick leave. Okay, now if I wanted to look at Ashley's pay statement, I could do that simply by clicking on the pencil here, and you're able to see the total hours for Ashley, the amount for Ashley. One other thing that the system is doing for you, depending on the code that is entering, the system's doing the rate calculation for you. So this particular sick leave is paid at the employee's regular rate. So it's multiplying the hours times the employee's regular rate, giving you the amount. For one of the other sort of leaves, the FMLA 10 weeks and the family leave for an additional 10 days, those are at 2/3 of the employee's rate. The system's going to calculate that automatically for you also. Okay, so now what I want to do is go ahead and just save and update here. Okay, notice it removed Kathy's crazy amount. That's not valid because I removed those hours. And before I come off of this screen, I just want to be 100% clear. It is vital for compliance reasons that whoever is responsible for keying in these hours, that you're keying in the appropriate based on the employee's daily standard workday. Okay, for the period of time that you're processing for. And again, April 1st is the first day that an employee can use these hours. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the payroll process. And the final thing that I just want to bring up with you is the payroll recap and funding report. When I open this report, it doesn't look different yet because not all of the configuration or the programming has been done to complete this yet. But what is being done as we speak is this is being updated to be able to show you your tax credits, okay, and the deferral credits. Okay, so this screen we're looking at right now is a screenshot of what the payroll and recap will eventually contain. So I do want you to just be aware this is being programmed as we speak, and it should be released very soon. So once this is released, you would use your payroll and recap to see that credit amount. Okay, so this concludes the recording for today. If you have any questions related to the coronavirus, Beyond Pay is offering our HR call center free to all companies, so you can reach out to hr@beyondpay.com for any additional questions. You can also check out our website. In the top right-hand corner is our coronavirus frequently asked questions. Please do click into that and read as much information. Also, stay tuned for our webinars as well as watch our additional recordings on how you address all of these coronavirus earning codes and hours. Thank you so much, and I hope everybody stays safe. Have a great day.